All right, welcome everybody to this Hatha practice. We're going to have a nice short little practice that can be useful throughout the day. This is all levels practice. I think it's also very nice to start your day with. So with no further ado, let's get onto our mat. All right. So to begin our practice, let's start standing on the top of our mat. We will bring our feet hip distance apart, arms alongside the body. And we'll just start to shake our whole body. So if you like to, you can always have a soft bend into the knees, arms relaxed alongside the body. If you like to, close your eyes for this one. And just feel that you can start to shake the whole body. Maybe letting go of the shoulders. Feeling the arms flap a little bit. Becoming loose through the knees and the legs. If you like to addition into the head, you can always bend the neck sidewards or move it around. Just keep shaking for a little bit longer. And then slowly slow it down in the shake. Slow it down. Slow it down. Until you come back to standing still on the top of our mat. Alright, so we're going to bring the hands in front of our chest. We're going to make wrist circles out as we breathe in. And then as we exhale, we bring the wrist back in. So from here, just start to make nice circles with the wrist as you inhale. And then when you exhale, slowly return the wrist back in. Inhale, rotating them out. And slowly rotating them back in. 2 more rounds of this. Inhaling as we rotate out. Inhaling as we rotate them back in. And inhaling out. Exhaling back in. Same thing, now we're going to bring the arms up. So when you inhale, start to bring the arms up as you rotate the wrists. And as you exhale, rotate as you bring them back in. Now by now, if you do it really strong with the wrist, you would start to feel your underarms start to burn maybe a little bit. To me, they do. This is such a nice warm-up for our wrist and our underarms. 2 more as we go up. And exhaling as we go down. Last one, inhaling, rotating up. And exhaling, last one. All right, we'll leave it at that. Just shake the arms a little bit more. Just releasing them. As we get into our Surya Namaskar. So bring the feet together. When you inhale, bring the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Open heart forward. Breath hold as you step back, high plank. Your version, maybe knees, chest, chin down to the floor. Inhale, sliding through, cobra pose. And exhale, rolling back downward, facing dog. All right, next inhale, bring the right knee towards the chest, step the right foot next to the right thumb, lower left knee down, open the heart forward. As you exhale, step to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale, release the hands alongside the body. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back, lower left knee down to the floor. Breath hold, step back, high plank. Your version, knees, chest, chin, down to the floor. Inhale, slide through, cobra pose. Exhale, downward, facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps up to the top, lower right knee down to the floor. And as you exhale, step the right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, maybe open through the chest, gentle back bend. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Step right leg back as you inhale. Breath hold as you step back, high plank, your version. Inhale, slide through cobra pose. And exhale, roll back, down dog. Right foot steps up to the right thumb on your inhale. Lower left knee down. On your exhale, step both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale as you reach and rise, lift up through the chest. Exhale, release the arms alongside the body. Inhale. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, arms reach up, find length. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back, lower left knee down, open the heart forward. Breath hold as you step back, high plank. Finding again your version through this vinyasa. Inhale as you come to cobra or your up dog. And exhale, find your way back, down dog. Left foot steps up towards the left thumb, inhale. And exhale, step to the front, forward fold. Rising up, inhale. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Take another breath in. And then you exhale, palms get in front of the heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Right foot steps back, lower right knee down to the floor. Breath hold as you step back to your high plank, your version through your chaturanga or ashtanga namaskar, to your cobra or up dog, into down dog. Inhale as the right foot steps up to the top, lower left knee down. Exhale, left foot steps to the front, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release the arms. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back, left knee down to the floor, open forward. Breath hold as you step back, high plank again, your version through your vinyasa. Into cobra. Back to down dog. Left foot steps up to the top, inhale. Exhale, right foot follows the left, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, release the arms alongside the body. One more time for left and right. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back, lower right knee down. Breath hold as you step back, high plank. Again, your version through your vinyasa. To your cobra or up dog. As you exhale, down dog. As you inhale, right foot steps up to the right thumb, lower left knee down. Exhale as you step forward, forward fold. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you release the arms. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Left leg steps back. Inhale. Hold the breath, step back, high plank. Exhale as you go through your version. Inhale as you come up to cobra or up dog. Exhale as you roll back, down dog. Inhale as the left foot steps up to the top. Exhale as the other foot steps forward, forward fold. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you release the arms. Close the eyes, leave the arms alongside the body. Bring a moment of awareness towards your breath. Notice if your breathing went a little bit faster throughout this Surya Namaskar. If that is the case, start to bring it down by gently breathing through the nose. Finding every time that in poses where we're standing or sitting still, every time returning the breath back down, using our diaphragm to breathe, feeling a gentle expansion of the ribs. From here, we're going to bring the hands in front of the heart as we exhale. Then we're going to step our right leg back into our high lunge. Now always find your alignment. You can always find a little bit more width between the legs if needed. Bending into the left front knee, pressing the back toes down, pivoting the right hip forward, pulling slightly back on that left hip, squaring the hips off to the front, finding that you can tuck the tailbone under, and as an option, bringing arms up to the sky. Whichever version you prefer. If you like to turn the pinky slightly in to release a little bit into the shoulders. If you like to work with Kali Mudra, bring the arms together. Press the palms, point the finger up, maybe even look towards the hands. And find your breathing here, whichever version that you prefer. And every time noticing our alignment. Are we still squaring off the hips? Are we tucking the tailbone under? Are we feeling a slight squeeze of the ribcage in, engaging our core? On the next breath, open the back foot 90 degrees, warrior two. And here with the warrior two, feel that the back foot 90 degrees, the outer edge of the foot is pressing down. We're sinking into the front knee. The front knee is pushing towards the pinky toe. Don't let the knee collapse in. Feel that you're opening through the hips. And at the same time, pull the legs together really strong into your warrior two. Opening through the arms, looking over the middle finger, relaxing the shoulders down. Just finding your breath here. That nice Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose, still using every time the belly to breathe. And from here, flipping the front palm open, inhale. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the legs as they are, just reaching up with the left hand. The right hand can come back to the leg. It can also be in front of the belly or around the back, grabbing opposite hip if that is in your practice. Whichever version you prefer. Find space there, noticing if you can find your breath. Lengthening through the left side of the rib cage, all the way from the fingers into the hip. It's always okay in these poses when we hold a little bit longer to close the eyes and bring the awareness inwards, noticing how we're feeling in these poses. Take another breath here. On your exhale, slowly coming back, warrior two. From your warrior two, spin the arms to the front, frame the front foot, step back, high plank. Noticing a little bit in your high plank here, are you pushing the floor away, protracting through the shoulders, squeezing slightly the ribs in, engaging through our core, pressing onto the toes, pushing the heels back, slight engagement of the glutes. Just hold it here. Now that always is an option. If the plank just by itself feels too heavy, you can always lower knees down to the floor. Even with the knees down to the floor, we can still activate by pushing the floor away, protracting the shoulders, squeezing the core. We can still work everything, but with the knees down. Take another breath here. On your exhale, slowly finding your version. You can always have the Ashtanga Namaskar or regular Chaturanga. Exhale to your cobra or upward facing dog. As you exhale, roll back downward facing dog. And stepping right foot up to the front next to the right thumb, lower back, left knee down. Here we're going into a gentle half split. If you need to adjust your feet, you can always walk them a little bit more forward as we're going to sink back into our half split. Here finding any adjustment that you need. You can always have a nice gentle bend into the knee. Noticing here that you can walk the hands back, maybe sitting a bit more up straight. Also here finding a slight tuck of the tailbone, pressing the heels down, lifting the toes towards you. And feel that you bring your chest towards those toes. In that way we feel much more activation throughout our hamstring, and we don't need to go that deep. Just give yourself time to not go always to your 100%. Just take it a slight step back, so that you can hold it a little bit easier for a couple of breaths. And again, for those breaths, notice how we're breathing. Gentle breaths in and out through the nose, still using the diaphragm to breathe, slowing down through our breaths every time in poses where we're sitting still. Bringing awareness to the parts of the body where we feel it the most. Visualizing bringing that breath, that oxygen into our hamstrings, feeding it so that it can soften a little bit more. We can find just that little bit more space with every breath. Maybe from the outside you don't see it, but you feel from the inside you create every time that slight more space. On your next exhale, slowly lower right foot back down. If you need to, adjust your foot back. So again, from here you can press through the hands, step the foot back, And we're going to take another vinyasa, your version. As you exhale, inhale to your cobra up dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog. And keep pressing through the hands in your downward facing dog. And then with little steps, walk your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. Maybe if you need to, you can bend the knees to take a big step, or just step them all the way up to the top. As you inhale, take a nice halfway lift. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Just taking a couple breaths in your forward fold, whichever version you like to have. You can always have the arms just hanging down, maybe grabbing opposite elbow. If you like more to grab the big toes or the back of the calves or the heels, feel free here to take any version that works for you. Just noticing that you can breathe a little bit deeper as you find more space throughout the body as you fold. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Noticing that you can fold from the hips. You can always bend the knees as much as you need in these forward folds. And if you're grabbing the big toes like me, feel that you can bring the elbows out, pull yourself slightly more forward. Feel that you want to lower the chest down. Finding length through the spine. Relaxing the neck. Don't hold tension in your neck, let that go wherever you can. Whichever version you're holding, if you're holding the toes, the heels, or the calves, slowly release as you roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take a nice 2 breaths here as you stand. Noticing the difference maybe between your left and your right side. All right, moving on to the other side. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, hands in front of the heart. And stepping back with our left leg into our high crescent lunge. And again, finding that adjustments, feeling we can square the hips off. This time the right hip is pulling back, left hip is pushing forward, bending the front knee, knee above the ankle, tucking tailbone under, squeezing the ribs slightly in. Take a breath as you bring the arms up. And here, any version that you like to have in your high lunge. And always for yourself, if you prefer to have more warrior one stance, always feel free to adjust the practice to find your needs. I always say, no matter what, it's your practice. You need to feel good with how you practice. Always noticing wherever you can find that breath, where you can find that space, where you can breathe comfortably in every pose that we take. Noticing your own alignment, feeling that you're checking in with yourself every time, noticing if the hips are still squaring off. Am I still bending my front knee? Am I still tucking my tailbone under? Am I still squeezing my ribs in? Am I opening the arms and then squaring the ribs out? Squeeze them back in. Inhale. Take another breath here. And then as you exhale, open the back foot 90 degrees, warrior 2, other side. And again, just like before, the main focus is to bend the front knee and don't collapse in the front knee. Push that right knee out towards the pinky toe. Open through the hips. Press the back foot down. Squeeze those inner thighs. If squeezing the inner thighs make you lift out of the knee, keep that squeeze. Then sink a little bit more down. Relaxing the shoulders as you open the arms. Look over the front middle finger. Just find your breath here. Keep engaging through the legs. If at any time the arms become too heavy, just bring them to the side. I'd rather have that you keep the strength in your legs than getting lost the focus because you feel your shoulders. Warriors are all about leg strength. So feel that you work the strength of your legs here in these poses. Taking another breath in your warrior 2. Going to reverse our warrior, start by flipping your front palm over, maybe reaching slightly. Feel the length through the right ribs as you reach up. Legs stay the same. Keep squeezing those inner thighs. Press that right knee towards the pinky toe. As you reach up with the right arm, maybe reach up first, then start to bend back. Any version here, hand on the back leg, hand on the back, maybe even reaching forward a little bit deeper, grabbing opposite hip. We're just keeping the hand in the front on the belly, whichever version you prefer. Find that you can hold those nice breaths going through, finding space more through the side, reaching and bending. Focusing on that Ujjayi breath, nice and soft. another breath here. And on your exhale, come back, warrior two. From your warrior two, rotate the hands down, spin onto the back toes, plant the hands down, step back, high plank. Again, focus on your high plank here. Option for bringing knees down, otherwise push the floor away, press the heels back. Feel that you squeeze those ribs in, engage your core, slight squeeze in the glutes. Keep protracting. Notice that you're not sinking through the shoulders. If this is the case, bring the knees down, press yourself back. Then if you want to switch and you feel like, okay, I'm strong again, lift those knees up. Every time getting just a little bit more strength throughout your practice. Just keep breathing here. Always feel that you are led by your breath. The breath is leading in your practice. Take another breath in. On your exhale, take your vinyasa. Find your chaturanga. Through your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling back, downward facing dog. Stepping left foot all the way up towards the left thumb. Going to our half splits on the other side, lower right knee down. And again, if you need to adjust, maybe walking the feet forward, bringing back knee a little bit more back. Find that space where you can find the right knee underneath the hip. Maybe bringing hands a little bit more back. If you work with yoga blocks, feel free to use blocks underneath the hands. If you need to bend a little bit more into the knee as well, as long as you keep a little bit of an isometric hold by pressing the heel down, lifting the toes up, getting a little bit more of that engagement into the hamstring. Feel that you lengthen throughout the spine, and then as you exhale, lean your chest maybe a little bit more forward, feeling that work going into that left hamstring. Not so much that we feel pain or that we feel something in the knee and that we need to come out. Bring it to a space where you can hold it comfortably for around these 5 breaths that we take. All right, on your next exhale, lower the foot back down. Finding any adjustment again to get back into your space as we go to take another vinyasa. Plant the hands, lift the back knee up, step it back, high plank. Every time when you come in high plank, feel the engagement, press through the shoulders, protraction. Then your version of your regular chaturanga, always option to keep going through knees, chest, chin, to your cobra or up dog. And then again, back downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here in your downward facing dog. Feel that you can create some nice space here, pressing through the hands, elevation through the shoulders, slowly pressing the heels slightly more down. Doesn't matter if your heels touch the floor or not. Just taking around 3 more breaths here in your down dog. And again, slowly starting to walk the feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Keep pressing through the hands. Feel yourself lifting up as you take those little steps to the front, coming into a halfway lift. Inhale, exhale, fall down. And then inhale, slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. And again, maybe just close your eyes, hold your arms alongside your body. Notice the different sensations, the energy that you're waking up into your body. Just 2 breaths here as you stand. All right, working a little bit into our balancing. If you need to, find a little bit of shake of the legs. And as we have the legs underneath the hips, we're going to find a little bit more weight into our right leg. Going for tree pose, so feeling that you can plant the left foot maybe to the inside of the ankle, on the calf, or maybe using the hand up into the inner thigh. Finding that you can root down, open through the hip, tuck the tailbone under, and then here maybe bringing hands in front of the heart. And this is always a perfect place to stay. You can also always bring the arms up, finding a little bit more length, finding a focal point in front of you that you can focus on, that you don't lose your balance. If you like to find a bend into the tree pose, bring left hand to the left knee. Reaching up through the right arm, pressing the right hip out towards the right side, finding a side bend here into your tree pose. Focusing, finding that breath. And then returning the same way that you came in, so reaching back up. Left hand meets the right hand, palms together, hands in front of the heart. Then you can assist your left foot out of your right hip and slowly sending it back down. All right, switching to the other side. So finding weight into your left leg, maybe spreading the toes wide, planting them down. And again, finding maybe space for the right foot on the ankle, calf, or into the inner thigh. Finding first some space here that you can find balance. Maybe bring the hands in front of the heart. Know that any of these poses, any of the parts where we did before, you can always stop a step before if you feel that it's enough. Maybe bringing arms up, finding our full line in our tree pose, maybe arms wide, maybe palms together. And here, option for the bended tree. Right hand towards the right knee, left hand is reaching. Then press through the left hip, slowly finding a bend into that tree pose. Doesn't need to be big, but find that you can reach that balance. Challenge yourself a little bit here. It's okay to fall out. So here we can come out the same way that we came in. Left arm is reaching up, right arm follows. Palms together in front of the heart. And use the right hand to assist the right foot out of the left thigh and setting it down onto the floor. From here we're going to bring our feet as wide as the mat, feet slightly pointing out, and we're going to squat down into our malasana. And here you can always bring elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together, opening to our hips. If you like to sway a little bit from side to side, feel free to do so. You can always have your hands down onto the floor if that assists you. Again, finding space for yourself just to breathe here. And if you like to bring a little bit more activity into the regular malasana, as you use your elbows to squeeze the knees out, press the palms together, press with the elbows, open a little bit more through the hip, work through the inner thighs. Keep that expansion pushing out, and then release the elbows, maybe hands forward, but keep pushing the knees out. Keep pressing the thighs, feel that you press the hip a little bit more forward. Use your arms as a counterbalance to reach like you're grabbing onto something, pushing the hips forward, opening. And this is a little bit more hard, a little bit more active. And if it feels good, try it. It's so nice. It's really good for strong hips here. Breathe for another 3 breaths here. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Just breathe along with me. I'm sweating as well. Last breath, breathing. As you exhale, slowly bring hips down to the floor. Bring the feet in front of you. Inhale, finding length through the arms. Going to our Paschimottanasana, exhale, coming forward. Always the option of the regular version of grabbing big toes. Pressing heels down, lifting toes up. Use your chest to come forward. If you don't grab your toes or you're not grabbing your feet to come forward, just leave your hands maybe next to the calves. Maybe bring a slight bend into the knee. Lead with your chest forward. And maybe just staying in this position, which is also perfectly fine. If you feel that just by coming forward, grabbing the feet, lowering the head down, it just stops your breath, bring it a little bit back up. Maybe you can grab the toes, but you need to leave the chest up. Feel that you can press the chest forward, press the heels down, lift the toes up, activate, pivot from the hips, lengthen through the spine. Breathe. The most important part always is to breathe. Next breath, slowly rising back up from wherever you can. Bring the hands alongside the body, fingers pointing forward. And plant your feet flat onto the floor. Have a slight angle into the knees. And from here, we're just going to rotate our shoulders, push the shoulder blades together, press into the feet, tuck the tailbone under, lift the hips up to the sky. And exhale, sink the hips back down. Going for 5, 2, press the hips up, find that lift, squeeze the shoulders, sit back down, 3, every time coming in this reverse tabletop, feeling we create a bit more space, 4, lifting up and down, last one, 5, lift the hips, exhale, slowly sink them down, relax the feet to the corners of the mat, take a moment to roll onto your back, relaxing the head down, and just bring both knees into the chest. Squeeze the knees in. Maybe roll slightly and gently from left to right. After rolling a little bit on our back here, come back up to seated. And we're going to bring our right leg underneath with the knee pointing to the front. Left foot is going to step over. We're going into our seated twist. And from here, as you have the left knee into the front, use the right arm to hook around the left leg. Maybe interlacing the hands, grabbing the hands, or having the left hand behind you, opening the chest forward towards the knee. Sitting up nice and tall, use the hand on the back as a little bit of a kickstand to keep your spine nice and straight. And then slowly look behind you. And you can always keep the elbow hugging the knee. You can also bring it in a more classical way, bringing arm to the outside. Maybe if you have the space, grabbing the foot or the knee. Whichever version you prefer, where you feel you get the most benefit, find that space into your twist. Notice that it's about the twist and nothing else in this pose. So feel where you get the most out of your twist. Focusing on your breath, gentle ujjayi breaths in and out. And your next breath, slowly turning back to the front. You can always use your hands to assist you to just feel that we can extend both legs. And then we switch to the side. Left leg in front, feeling that you can have the sitting bones down onto the floor. Bringing right leg over, feeling maybe to hug the knee with the left arm, right hand behind you, whichever version you prefer, maybe opening in a more classical way, or holding hands together. Feel that you can pull the knee in, lift up through the chest, start to twist from the upper body. If you like to find a little bit more activation as you hold the knee with your arm, as you pull it in, maybe push slightly back with the knee into the arm as you pull it back in. Feeling maybe a bit more engagement to the outer line, all the way towards the glute. As you find that you look back over your shoulder. And every exhale, you find a bit more space. In your twist, with every inhale, you find maybe a little bit more length through the spine, like you're growing up. And exhale, you're twisting into that space. And your next breath out, slowly coming back forward. From here, releasing both feet to the front, rolling onto our back. Bring the hands underneath the buttocks. We're going to our fish pose. So sit a little bit up, bring the elbows in 90 degrees underneath you, bring the feet together, press the heels down, point the toes forward. Squeeze the shoulders together, open through your chest, and then slowly start to bend the head back. And the head doesn't need to touch the floor if it really comes easy. Feel that you push more through the elbows, lifting open through the chest. Any version here of the fish pose that you prefer to do, always feel free to make it your own. If you like to include the legs by lifting them up. You feel constantly like there's someone with a hand between your shoulder blades pushing your chest up to the ceiling. And on your next exhale, wherever you are, slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Into your Shavasana, arms alongside the body. Feet to the opposite corners of the mat. Finding maybe that you can find some space throughout the body as you lengthen. And taking a moment to tense throughout our body, starting with the right leg, just slightly lifting it up from the floor, pointing the toes towards the front, engaging all the muscles in the legs, really squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Relax the leg. Same for the left leg. Lift the left leg up, squeeze all the muscles, point the toes like you're pushing your toes all the way to the front, and release. Same thing with both arms at the same time. Squeezing the fingers in like fist, lifting the arms up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That's fist as hard as you can. Release. Feel that you can squeeze the butt, tuck the tailbone under, press the hips up, squeeze the hips, squeeze, press the heels down. Use a little bit to strengthen the legs as well. Squeeze, squeeze, and release. Now press the shoulders down, lift your belly up, feel that you're flaring the ribs, open, squeeze, maybe even lifting the shoulders up by pressing into the arms. Lift, squeeze, and release down. Last one for the head, just lift the head up, squeeze your face like you bite just into a very sour lemon. Already squeeze the face, squeeze, 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 and release everything down. Relaxing the whole body down onto the mat, feeling yourself completely heavy onto the floor. Noticing that you can slow your breath down. Every breath that you take, the exhale is getting slower. The inhale is becoming lighter. Your body is relaxing with every breath. All the tension is flowing out of the body. Just complete softness remains. Now feel free to stay as long as you need into your Shavasana. And otherwise, if you're ready, you can find any way to come up to any seated position that you prefer. Maybe you like to sit on your knees or cross-legged. Taking a moment to bring the hands in front of the heart, bowing forehead to the fingertips. Taking this moment to show yourself some love and gratitude for taking this practice, for stepping onto the mat. The hardest thing for us to do in our practice is to actually do our practice. I want to thank you all for joining me in this Hatha practice, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you so much.